Hi Dan, just getting ready to take a look here at your file. I see that Dax actually went through and reviewed some of the issues. It looks like he was using PDF Go HTML plugin in Acrobat, so we're going to start off with that as well. Here's your file. I have the plugin installed, which is a free plugin, so I'm going to run it on your file. Should pop open in my browser here in a second. Okay, here it is. So what we want to do is go to the structure tags view here. And this is the view that Dax was using. We can scroll down and see sort of the tag structure in the text and all the other content. We will get to that first table. Well, we can look at Dax's view of it. So this table, there's a blank cell here. I think this table might be on, I think I've already reviewed it. It's on page 19. So I'm going to jump over. This is the tool that we're working on at OpenText. I've went through and I think reviewed this a little bit, so I'm going to be able to hopefully jump to right to the issues. Sorry, my computer is actually being bombarded with virus scanners today, so that's eating up a lot of my CPU. I'm going to jump to page 19. And this is, I think, the table Dax was referring to. I'm going to click on some text in this table to bring it up in the tag tree. And we can see the table here. We have this empty th at the beginning. Actually, I'll open up the table tag. If I click this edit table, we have a table editor view here. We can kind of see this this empty cell here. And I think the challenge here is when they're marked as th and they're empty, it causes some trouble in the screen reader. So I'm just going to switch that over to a TD. And apply that, and I think we will see that it is now a TD. So that's how I would deal with that one. That may not be what everyone would do, but that's what I would do. And we'll move on to the next issue, which was this one. First heading in this table improperly spans the first column, so we can see here this heading spans over 2 columns, and I think it's the same kind of thing. There's a sort of a blank cell there, and I believe that was on page 29. Okay, and then we have this table here. So same thing, I'm just going to click on something to bring me there. One thing I did notice, you do have a figure tag with a table inside of it, and it appears your figure tag has your alt text here. I think that's for this chart right above the table. So I'm not sure if you really want the table inside the figure tag or not. You might want to move that out. And I did notice a couple things in here as well. Actually, you can see this H is, the green text here is highlighting what's actually in this table tag for us. If I come here and scroll down, let's see, where is that table? believe it's this one. Is it figure 5? Figure 5, okay. So you can see here actually the H is missing. So this text, that, as we see it here, this is what the screen reader is going to receive. And I can see there's actually a few issues besides the H missing. There's actually some spaces missing. You can see there's no spaces here. So the screen reader will actually try to read these as one word, which will give you some trouble. So that we can correct as well. First of all, actually this is, I can tell our tool highlights artifacts as gray. So I see that that's an artifact. First thing actually I have to do is remove that as an artifact. I'm going to find it here in the artifact tree. I'm actually going to delete this artifact. And then I'll just jump back to the tag tree. I'll click this cell. Sorry, wait. Find this text. So this is your cell. I'm going to just open it. You can see, yeah, it's missing the H. So I'm just going to select what I really want in that cell, which will include the H. Now you can see the H is here. I'm going to hit apply. Oh, actually, there was one more problem. There was a spacing issue here. There's a couple things I can do here. I can add a space, and if there's actually too many spaces, you can remove the space. And we also have a sort of an auto format that will try to put the spaces in there for you. So I'm going to click that to correct the spaces there. We're actually also showing sort of the contents here. It's sort of a convenient way to see what's in the cell. So for this one, we have a problem here. I'm going to auto format this. You can see it looks a little better. Same with this one. We'll just auto format these, fix them up. So I think that's good. Then I think what we saw was this cell had a column span of 2. Let's reduce that back to 1. And then what we'll do is, it's going to make the table a bit irregular, but we will add a TD there. And to our row, we'll add another TD. So that TD comes here at the bottom, but we really want it as the first cell in the row, so I'm going to move it up. Sorry, I also have my screen capture software running, so it's acting a little slow. We can see the spacing was resolved. We're kind of wrapping a little bit aggressively here. There's actually no space between H and a lion. We can also sort of do a bit of correction here. So this table looks good. I think that's okay. Now we will jump to the next issue, which I think you can see even Facebook is slow for me today. The first heading, oh, that we just did that one. We just did this one. Okay, so this one is an irregular table. We can see that it's not rectangular correctly. There's an issue over here, and the issue seems to be this TH should really span down a second row, and that would push these cells over to the right. And I think this is the table on page 33. So I'll jump to 33. Okay, so this table, let's open this one up. Take a look at the structure. Right, we can see, sorry, we don't show this text on the second page right now, but we can see the same issue that we saw in Dax's screenshot. So we want to span this guy. So I'm actually going to do that from the tag tree. Let's just click on some text in that cell. Brings us to that cell. And we'll open up this extra panel. So we'll just increase the row span here to 2. Apply that. Now I'll take a look at the table structure again. So that looks a little better, actually, if I jump to this second page. Then we can see the rest of the table. So I think this one is good. So I think we're done with this one. And then we get to this one. Which has a similar issue. We need to span here. Row 2 needs a row span of 2. So we'll just go ahead. I think this one is on page 37, I think. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. We'll find the table in the tag tree. Take a look. And we see the same issue here where we need the row span, but there's actually also a couple other issues here on the second page. It looks like there's an extra cell, empty cell here that didn't show up in PDF to Go HTML, but I think it is there. Let's see, this is 3.1 recruit. Let's just search for that in here. So here is the table. Let me shrink it a little bit. So we're not seeing those same cells, but I think they are there. We'll go double check. We can see a couple blank ones here. But I think because there's a row span of 2, maybe that's what's going on. It's not. Sorry, this cell has a call span of 2, so it's kind of pushing over and creating another column that really shouldn't be there. And I think maybe that isn't what we're not seeing that displayed here, but I think that is there. So let's go first. I guess we're going to deal with this in the tag tree, and we'll come back and review this. Because I currently can't address those here in this view. So this one, sorry, which one is it? First one, yeah, the first one needs a row span of 2. there. Row span 2, trust that one. And we'll jump to, which row was it? Row 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So, okay. So this one looks good. We know this guy should have a row span of 2. And it does, so that's good. But this one only has 3 cells. This one, so as I suspected, I think this one has a column span of 2. Does, which is correct. You want your 2 spans. But I think the issue is this guy shouldn't even be there. It's empty. So we'll just delete that one. And I think we have a similar problem. This TH will span as well. This one has a list in it. That's correct. So this, let's just double check. Row span of 2, hopefully. Yes. And I think we have the same problem down here, where we have 4 cells on this row, but this is really the first cell. This empty cell shouldn't be there. So we'll delete that one. And I think that's it. Let's go back. And check the table structure. Make it a little bigger. So this looks better. Looks like we're getting spans correctly. Because these ones are back on the previous page. Okay, so this looks good. So I think that was this one, and this issue. The heading cell marked in purple needs a row span of 2. Okay, so the same issue here. We need to push this row over to the right. And we have an extra row of headings here I will remove. And we'll double check. Maybe we need to make that 3. Row span of 3 potentially. So let's take a look. I think this one is on page 41. Okay, we're on page 41. Let's find that table tag. Here we go. Right, so we see similar thing. This is our heading, empty heading row. Okay, so let's see. We'll just collapse this. So we got our first row, second row, third row is empty. Doesn't know where it is. So these are the empty THs. So we'll just delete this delete this row. Okay, now we are on the next page. So you can see we have the 3 cells here. The next row, we have 3 more cells. Oh, sorry, 4 cells. So this one, let's just double check, make sure this has a column span of 2. It does. Okay, good. So I think all we needed to do was on the previous one, we wanted to edit this one. And we will bring this up to 3. Okay, so let's go back into the table view. And it looks more uniform, so I think that is correct. And I think that might be all of the issues. Right, up to page 41, as you indicated. Right, I think that's it. So we can, I'll cancel, and we can bring, I'm going to get a new version for you. And we'll open it with Acrobat. And I'm going to run this again. Okay, so let's look for page 41, 4.1, consistently. Okay, so here we go. We can see this guy looks better. Actually, we can go back to, what was the first one? Rather, this one is the one I wanted to look at, I believe. Let's just check our spacing. So, here we go. So this is the other table. We fixed the spacing. We can have the Hispanic, and the spacing is correct now. We put a blank TD here. So I think this is good. Well, actually, we did have the same problem here. So I will go fix this one as well. It's a similar table. So I will go do that. But we already done that, so I won't do that in the recording. Okay, so I'll do that and send the file off to you. Actually, Dan, I did find one more table issue when I was reviewing the structure again. I found on page 44 we have this table. Seems to be missing some extra table cells. So I found that table. It's here. We can take a quick look. In this case, it's hard. It's actually a little hard to see in our view that there's something wrong. But I did notice, for example, there should be 5 columns. So if we look at sort of the rows, This row has 5 cells correctly. This row has only 4. So that's showing the problem. So what I'm going to do actually in this case, try to save some time. Found the table. I'm actually going to delete this table. Okay, when I delete that table, it's showing we have actually some untagged content on this page now. So what I'll do is I'll select this H2 that's above it just to give me a locator in the tag tree where I want to add a new table. And I'm going to add a new table, and I'm just going to select this table area, and it will create a new table for me. And we can check that structure to see how it looks. So first row, second row, actually let me make it a little bigger. Second row, third row, let's just take a look. So this row, yes, has 5 cells. This row also now has 5 cells as this empty cell here under Forest Service. So I think it's good. We can double check it in this view. And well, it looks similar to before. Actually, there's a space we probably don't need here. So I'll just actually remove that space. And we'll download another version of this and check it again in the plugin. Okay, we'll go over to the structure tags. And actually what I'm going to search for, critical occupations. Critical occupations. Here we go. Okay, so now this table looks a lot better as well. So that's it, I think, and I'll make sure that change is included as well.